After about an hour and a half of walking, we're finally here at where it all began. In fact, 3 years ago, this is when NABCO was officially launched. And it's quite interesting that 3 years later, the same NABCO trainees who were promised, the opportunity to at least work in the meantime while they were home, they're back here also raising objections at the system and saying that things they were promised, it was not fulfilled. I still have the patron here at the PRO and some of the NABCO Secretariat trainees here. So how has it been so far, this entire demonstration? How do you see it?
In fact, I'm really satisfied. This time, I think the turnout is very convincing. And besides, we have been able to put our message across. That is the most relevant thing here.
How do you feel knowing that some 3 years ago, this is where you thought that your future was going to be bright, and 3 years later, you are here complaining about the promises that were made that were not fulfilled?
Indeed, we never expected. Even if we go back to reminisce the communications which surrounded the launching of the scheme, you realize that in fact they built a very profound stance that, especially with regard to the money issues, NABCO is fully funded. We don't have a problem at all. At the end of the day, at the end of the month, our stipends are really assured. But what do we see now? Now it is unprecedented for the first time that NABCO trainees have to work for 6 solid months without stipends. It is so pathetic. We never expected it. And again, looking at the way we touted on the government legacy and the promise to mechanize all NABCO trainees, and again resource those who are interested in entering into private endeavors and giving opportunities to some of us to further our education, and we are not now the promise. Government seems deviating from the promise. We recently heard that now we intend migrating all NABCO trainees onto a U-Start program. The program was never encapsulated at the onset to accommodate it. Why do I say not everybody can be an entrepreneur? If we want to migrate our youth into entrepreneur, why didn't we restore modalities in the scheme at the onset? Especially, someone read mechanical engineering. You took the person to the classroom to go and teach. Instead, we could have taken the person to one of the garages. Either he learns how to fix engine, hydraulics, electricals, even bodyworks. You realize that at the end of the day, at the end of the 3 years, he will be equipped to the extent that if he's given a push-up, he can establish his own ventures. You cannot tell a teacher in the classroom that I want to equip you to be an entrepreneur. We will end up wasting our national resources. So we never expect our situation now that it will be a time we will bounce back here to lodge a whole lot of complaints.
Does it mean that you don't even see any good coming out of this NABCO policy?
Now we are holding the government accountable.
Has anything good come out of it? You were home for a number of years, probably, before you applied onto the NABCO scheme. And so has nothing good come out of it?
For the experience, now we can boast that we have the pragmatic working experience. That is the factual ground we are basing on to appeal to the government that indeed we demand, we deserve equal share of our national cake. For the experience, we've garnered the experience. The only problem is our situation, because the scheme, it intended to alleviate us from our extreme hardship and privation. But if you could wake up, you go to work at the end of the month, you cannot get anything to sustain yourself, then what will be the essence of you being called that you are employed? No.
Okay, let me speak to the PRO as well. And you've presented your petition to the Greater Accra Regional Coordinator. I'm sure you're expecting that the CEO himself would be here to receive it. Are you disappointed?
Very disappointed, very disgruntled. In fact, I'm not happy at all, because we had an engagement with the Accra Police Commander, and then the agreement was that they will write an official letter to the CEO so that he will come here himself for the petition. And today we are here only for us to realize that it is the regional coordinator who is here. I don't know what the communication was, but to be honest with you, we are very disappointed, we are very disgruntled, and we think Anyans is being insensitive, looking at the way he is responding to our germane concerns and grievances.
But does it really matter if he's the one that receives it or it is someone from...
wanted him to be here himself, and trainees would have been very happy if Anyans would have been here himself, because we want him. We want to see him, we want to talk to him. We briefed the press. We would have been very happy if Anyans was here to hear what exactly we said.
How do you speak to someone that you describe as incompetent? I saw some of the placards saying that the president should fire the CEO, and yet you want him to be here to respond to your concerns?
Oh, he is still the CEO. Yes, though we are campaigning that he should be sacked. Based
Not too extreme?
It is not too extreme, because we've worked for a number of months. You've not paid us. There's lack of coordination between Anyans and that of the NABCO trainees. You are the CEO. You are the main NABCO driver. You understand? And so if there is anything at all that has necessitated the delays, what do you do as a NABCO trainee? As a CEO.
He says that...
issue an official communique to address your workers.
Okay, which he hasn't done. But I mean, he mentioned, and we heard from some personnel from the NABCO secretariat, that they had forwarded everything to the finance ministry, and the payments, well, the delays had to do with the finance ministry and not them.
We are not dealing with finance ministry. The one we know is Dr. Ibrahim Anyans. And so if the challenges are coming from the finance ministry, as a CEO, what do? You issue an official communique to address your workers, so that they will understand the condition and exercise infinite patience.
Do you believe that after presenting this petition, something will be done about it? We heard from the regional coordinator. He said he's heard from you and he'll go back to the office, of course, update his boss on it, and they'll see what they can do.
We are hoping against hope, and we are highly optimistic that something positive will come out of it.
Okay. Let me speak to a trainee, and we struggled to get a number of females to speak to us. She's one of them, by the way, and she's here to talk to us. Good morning. What's your name?
My name is Nana Kunedu Safua.
What module were you on?
Enterprise model.
Okay, and how's it been so far? Are you also lacking in your stipends?
Of course, we are, because we worked for several months and we haven't received anything. I learned it was because of this demonstration. That's why they paid us the September, October.
You learned from who?
That's what I know. That's what in fact, it is obvious.
You think it's obvious?
It's obvious.
So what, they paid you to silence your words?
Of course, because how can you owe us for several months, like 5 to 6 months, and you just pay us 2 months, September, October? So where are the rest of the money? So if we hadn't embarked on this demonstration, it means there was nothing going to be done about it.
Well, we heard from the regional coordinator. He said that for those of you who didn't receive your monies, at least for the Hill Ghana, it's because they didn't have the e-switch pin. There was a lady who said she even had a pin. She showed her card and said she had that card.
We have. In fact, I'm an enterprise model trainee, but I work in the hospital. I have NABCO trainee nurses in my facility. They are all complaining. Some are being old for like 11 months, 10 to 11 months, and still nothing has been done.
You don't think they'll vote again or for this party?
Doubts. Because
you not vote again for
the reason being that even the alternative is wobbling. The opposition, they're not doing anything. So the best way is for us, for the youth, to mobilize and form another party.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm Entry, Civic Ghana model. In fact, NABCO trainees are living in extreme starvation. We were promised to be made permanent ahead of the 2020 elections. Because of this promise, NABCO trainees went all out to campaign for this government. Only for us to realize that it was a pure scam. Why am I saying this? It's been almost 2 years since the career pathway was created. And as at now, there hasn't been any positive outcome from that so-called pathway or the portal. In fact, we are in limbo as at now. The 2 months that we were paid, mine just finished the same day. Even I'm still owing. Because it's been almost 5 months, so Berla.
It's been almost 5 months, more than 5 months. We pay bills. We do all those things that the president and the family, they does. So it has been hectic. It's been very, very, very hectic. And we are pleading with the government that he should fulfill his promise because he's left with just 2 years. Just 2 years to finish his term. So I'm asking him, what legacy? What legacy is Nanado leaving behind for the youth? Thank you.
Yeah, so for me, I want to say on authority that this particular demonstration is not for any political experience. It is about our life. I can show you my ID card. I am an FP member. I would like to show it to you, but not to the camera. Yes, yes, you can see that clearly. This is my party card, but I'm here to fight for my life. My father is a strong FP member. I have tried to disguise myself because when he gets to know that I'm here, he'll be disappointed, he'll feel bad. But I'm sorry, Dad.
Disappointed in you or in the government?
Me, because of politics. My dad will be disappointed.
Did he tell you not to get involved?
He asked me not to come, but I'm here. I'm sorry, Dad. It is not more about you, it's about my life, it's about my future. Just last year, clearance has been given to Ministry of Education to employ over 16,000 teachers. We have NABCO trainees who have been teaching for the past 3 years. Not even a single one has been considered. Just a single one. Ministry of Education, Dr. Adechu, they should ask him, how come not even a single NABCO trainee? The same last year, Office of Head of Civil Service started some recruitment. Ask Nodamboche whether they've given any NABCO trainee a priority. The president clearly said that in case of public employment, NABCO trainees should be given priority. Ask him, what did he do? Because they know what they want to do, they made it an open application and then they'll just pull their people inside. We are there, they will employ people, we will train them. When the people get to know that we are NABCO trainees, they begin to disrespect us. It's so sad. It's so sad.
It is sad. And we do hope that, of course, after receiving the petition, they definitely will do something about it. And like you heard from the regional coordinator, they will update the CEO, Dr. Anyas Ibrahim, so they work on this particular problem that the NABCO trainees have. We've been here at the Independence Square. In fact, we started from the brass sports. We were there as early as 6 a.m. to cover this demonstration. As it stands now, it's about 11:15 a.m. or 11:50. My name is Berla Mundi for TV3 Newday.